Let's start with looking at how we can enter and edit information in the system. And the first thing that we need to have a look at is the field type, because the field type will define what kind of information you can enter in a field. So first of all, there are date fields, and we of course use date fields to enter dates, and so these fields will only accept date parameters. We also have number fields that will only accept numbers, and then in text fields you can enter information in any format. There are code fields that will accept predefined codes, and then we also have flow fields, which are calculated fields. So they will display amounts and quantities, as you can see here, calculated by the system. Now, especially for date fields, it's interesting to have a more detailed look, because there it could be very interesting to use shortcuts. Because you will have to enter dates on many places in the system. Think of documents that you need to enter. It could be very useful to use these shortcuts, such as the W to enter the work date, the T to enter today's date, but also enter date fields without entering manually the separators and so on. Could be interesting. Let's look at some of these things in the system. So here in the application, let's go, for example, to orders to focus on the date field. And let me take an existing order. So for example, this one. And if we look for a date field, you can see here, for example, the requested delivery date in the header. So let me enter here, for example, requested delivery date. So first of all, if I would use the work date as the requested delivery date, I can simply enter W and then go to the next line. If I now accept the message, you will see now that the system automatically entered the 25th of January 2018, which is indeed my work date. I can do the same for today. So if I enter T, again after accepting the message, you will see now that the 1st of December 2016 is entered. You see, so in that way we can enter dates more efficiently. And also if I create a new document, so after entering the number and the customer number, if I go to the order date, for example, if I want to enter a new order date, I can do this in a short way. So for example, if my order date is in the same month and the same year as my work date, then you only need to enter the day. So for example, if you want to enter the 28th of January 2018, I can only enter 28, and the system will automatically add the month and the year of the work dates. If you want to enter the same in February, you can do, for example, 02/28, and you will see that the system will add the year and so on. You see, again, because we will have to enter dates in a lot of fields in the system, it could make it easier and more efficient and faster to enter dates in a short way. Now, as we saw on the slide, the type of the field will define also the information that we can enter. And also, let's have a look here at some examples. So if I go to customers, the first thing that you will have to take into account is that when you open a list, lists are always non-editable. There are a couple of exceptions, but in most of the cases you will see that a list is non-editable. So for example, I cannot edit directly my customers from the customer list. To do this, you will need to click on Edit. So for example, I can select a customer, and in the ribbon I can click on Edit. And this will open the customer card in this case. So here, like we just saw, the field type will define the information that we can enter. So we already looked at date fields, and we also have text fields. So for example, address to is a text field, so I can enter anything. So I can enter, for example, letters, back road, you can enter numbers, and so on. You see, so because this is a text field, it's not very important that we follow specific conventions or whatever, so you can enter text or in any format. Then we have the typical code fields, and they will include predefined codes, like for example postcode. So if you would like to enter the postcode, you can click on the lookup value and you will get a list of existing postcodes, you see. So this is a typical code field where I can select a predefined code that we can then enter. And then we also have the flow fields, as we saw. Now here, if I scroll up, you can see a number of fields which are colored in blue. And these are typical flow fields. So they will display, for example, the total balance in local currency for that customer. And I can very simple click now here on the amount. And the system will now show me the detail. So the 168,000 is calculated based on these customer ledger entries. You can see here the remaining amount. So this totals to, if I now go back to the customer card, 168,000. You see? So very good examples of what a flow field is and how you can use these flow fields.